So, welcome back. This is the first episode of a brand new series that we're doing. It's back by popular demand. Pretty much the coronavirus is all done here, so there's no point of us continuing on with the Flockdown series. So we're going to start the new one, which is this one, and this is the first episode of the Flock Challenge channel series thing. You know, you get it. Bit of a tongue twister, but one subscriber put that one in the comments, the old Flock. That's a bit of a hashtag. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow the progress of starting to move all the birds out onto the block. I'm still going to do my daily ones, the shorter videos, but what we'll do is I'm going to make these much longer ones. I can fully explain and go into everything, why I've done this, why I'm doing that, and all the other things that I'm thinking about at the same time, because obviously this is going to be reasonably challenging just because I'm having pigeons on two different blocks. One block is the house I live in here, which is this loft, and then the other one is out in it's about 10-minute drive away, and it's, you know, no one lives there. So that's also another challenge, because although I don't think anyone's going to steal any pigeons, it's really not something I want to try. So basically there's a lot of challenges in this, because obviously I'm not going to be living out there until I can sell the house here that I'm living in, and also build over there. So that process is very expensive and it's going to take a lot of time and effort. So realistically, if I want to race next year, I really have to get my act together, and try and get some birds out there, and try and get them out there in a safe manner as well, because I just can't afford to, you know, breed a full team and then have to pretty much, you know, start again if people steal them or something happens. So there's a lot of thought process that goes into this this whole transition, which is pretty much the block flock. So the whole concept with this is to get birds out onto this block, enough of them so that we can actually race next year, or we can participate in as much of the season as we can pretty much go through, which will be interesting. So we will head out to the block in a minute. We'll go for a bit of a walk, and I will show a lot of you people that probably haven't seen it before certain spots where we can put a loft, pros and cons for that, but we'll go into more detail when we get out there. But for the time being, we are here, and basically what I'm thinking is I need to do some big changes here. I'm going to keep this loft pretty much how it is, because we will take this over there with us, and I'll probably use it for something else. I'll definitely keep it because I've put a lot of work into it, and it is, you know, the main loft, best loft so far. So we'll try and get this one over there at some point, but what we need to do is somehow turn this into a breeding loft where we can house between 5 and 8 pairs. That is going to be pushing it, just because we will be able to fit that amount of birds in here anyway, because we've got 10 birds in here, so that's pretty much 5 pairs anyway. But things we're going to have to do is we might have to take out these perches and we'll put them in the shed, give them a good clean up, because we definitely will use them again. These boxes here are going to have to come out, and we'll probably take down some of these perches, might even close off some of this, might even put a skylight in there as well, just so that we can, you know, give them a bit more privacy. Still going to have plenty of airflow here anyway. Make a few changes, nothing too drastic, nothing that we can't put back together pretty quickly anyway when we decide to move. But what I'm thinking is once we get all this out of the way, we're going to have a clear spot, so we can either build a set of boxes up against this wall all the way to the roof. Each one of those is going to, well, that is 1.2 meters, so we could probably pretty much cut it in half and have each box 60 centimeters, and then we can probably have it either 60 centimeters back as well. I'm hoping that will give us enough room, because I want to be able to lock the birds in there so that we can actually lock them into there for pairing, so we can actually make sure they're pairing up with who we want them to pair up, or we can build sets of boxes up against this wall, so probably take both perches out and then build them up here. It's just a bit more restricting. I'm hoping there'll be enough room to fly up here, but I don't know yet. We'll just have to wait and see. But that would be a benefit if we did have them on this side, and we can close this up and put some perches on this side so they can go back and forth. There isn't a lot of room, but there's enough room for us to probably, you know, have that 5 to 8 pairs breeding in here, which is going to give us a fair amount of birds anyway if we start very soon. So basically the theory would be, once these two in here, Leo and Storm, have finished that baby, we'll stop them breeding, let them have a little bit of a break, definitely keep them paired up anyway, and then when these two here hatch in about 3 weeks, we can shut them off too, bring them babies out of there once they are ready to wean, and then get stuck into this. We could probably start a little bit before anyway. If I get a little bit impatient, I can hand raise those two babies, because they're only part of the barless split project, because there'll be only there'll be 2 in there anyway. We might even raise some of those babies next year, because they you know, they might not be any good if they don't come back. Oh well, we'll just breed more. But that's the part of you know, increasing the gene pool for that barlessing anyway, and obviously having more barless is a good thing, and they're all going to go over to the block anyway. So realistically there would only be a few birds out of all these what will stay here. We'll probably keep this pair that's in there breeding, which is the splits, this pair, and then I think there might be one more pair of splits, so that'll give us 3 pairs, and then we'll keep the tiger grizzle hen here, and we'll find a male for her. We probably won't find a male tiger grizzle, because that's not going to happen, but we can definitely find probably a blue bar, like a reasonably decent blue bar cockbird for her. So she'll produce a whole myriad of different colours, but we'll still get some tiger grizzles out there, so that should be good, hopefully. And then we've pretty much got another 4 pairs that we can find. I'm pretty sure we can find some of them pretty easy, and then obviously the barless hen, and then the rest of her split babies will move out to the block along with that baby and those 2 babies. So that's already going to give us about 10 birds to move out there pretty much straight away. So, you know, it's going to be very interesting. There is only 1 or 2 of these barless splits that actually are really good, in contrast to their shape and them actually looking like Leo. There's it's probably no, it's that one. It's one of the 2. One of them actually feels really good, feels heaps better than the other one, so we'll go into that anyway later on. But we can take them out there and start breaking them in out the block anyway, which will be good. I wonder how we're going in here. Still got 1 egg, so basically that's not the hen anyway, that's the cockbird. So he will, I think that's the cock, yeah, that's definitely the cock. That's one of Leo's sons, so she's going to lay her 2nd egg very soon, probably in the next couple hours. Definitely by the time this video goes up there'll be a 2nd egg in there anyway, and those 2 will be part of the first block flock. If one of them does turn out to be barless, I'm going to keep it here where it's going to be safe, because that barless will keep that one, and that can probably be bred back into one of these 2 next year when we get a bit of time. And then these 2, I'm pretty sure these 2 will just stay together the whole breeding season, and we'll just keep producing babies from them, because their babies are sensational. I'm actually, you know, they breed the best babies that I've ever bred, so we'll keep them together because they look pretty happy and they breed some pretty good babies, so we'll keep them together. But as I said, we really need to work on the actual setup in here, just so that it is super easy to clean, and then all the babies we can just start pumping them out. I did order 60 200. I won't use all of them. I think I'm going to try and aim for at least 50, 60 birds out in the block, and then just try and, you know, get to a certain point where I can keep those birds happy and I can manage them and have them super healthy and everything. I just feel if I go too big too quick, I'm not giving my chance to sort of ramp up and, you know, get really used to managing those birds, because I want them to be as healthy as possible, so that when we do race, we've got a very good chance of you know, getting some birds back and at least placing somewhere, I hope. So we will come back here later in the video, but now I'm going to head over to our block, and then we'll just basically go through where the loft's going to go, certain positions, pros and cons, all that kind of stuff. So let's head over there now. So we are at the block now. I'm just doing a little bit of burning off here, just trying to really take some of the fuel load off this property so we're ready for the bushfire season. So we're going to get into positions of the loft. So pretty much this whole area here, here's our front gate. You're going to drive in here. We have a driveway that sort of loops around, and the area we're allowed to build in is pretty much this main area here you see. So we are going to build a house somewhere here. So we have a lot of area to build lofts and a lot of area to fly, as you can see. Skies are pretty clear. We've got a bit of trees around, but most of it's farmland, so we're looking pretty good in that aspect. So I've already had these two chickens out here for probably about 4-5 weeks now. If you go up to that little dot up in the corner here, you can go over to my other channel, and I basically cover everything, because we've had these chickens out here for some time now, and I just brought out 3 new ones here. So they seem to be going quite well. I've got a fox trap set over in the far corner there. Haven't caught any foxes yet, haven't seen any foxes, so that is pretty good. So we're going to get into position number 1. I was thinking about putting the loft here. Mind you, this is north and that is northwest, and our race line is in this position, so the birds are going to come from that direction. So I want the loft at least facing out this way somewhere. So we have this position here, which is pretty much in front of this rock wall, gives it a little bit of privacy and shelter from the main road, which is not too far, just over there. As I said, big problem that I have myself is not being here all the time, because I don't live here yet. So I'm very worried that someone's going to come here and cause some trouble. You know, they might not, haven't had any trouble yet, but I don't know if people are coming on this property while I'm not here. So that for me is the biggest hurdle. If once I can get over that myself, then I'll be more comfortable about birds coming out here. So we have this position here. It is a good position. It is near these guys, so it's sort of reasonably central. It's away from where the house will be built in the near future. Mind you, all this is only temporary. This you know, this chicken coop will be moved in time, and wherever the pigeon loft is, it's going to be moved eventually anyway, because I'm going to build quite a big secure compound. I'm going to fence this whole area in. It's going to be nice manicured grass. It'll be looking nice like that over there, what I've been working on. So that basically, when I move here, I will build a proper loft, a big one, with, you know, power into it and separate sections, all that kind of business. And same with the chickens. The chickens will get a very upgraded model of this, because we'll have more chickens. But the thing for now is just getting a loft out here that I'm happy with, and that can sort of handle 60 to 80 birds, no problems. The only problem with it here that I can see is the fact that those rocks there, I'm going to move them at some point in the near future when I get a big machine here. I'm going to move all those rocks down to the back of the property, out of the way where I'm probably going to use them, because I really want to tidy this area up, get a grader in, some big machines, and just like flatten it out, get all the rubbish out of it. So this position, it is an option. I don't have to put it really close up there. I could bring it up here a bit more. So that is an option. I could put the loft here facing back this way. At least it is quite nice and close to the chickens. And you know, it's easy just feeding both animals at once. There is another position that I do really like, which is over here, which I'll take you and show. I've started to clear it anyway, because this area in the middle of the driveway, it is pretty much central, the whole block. I had some big bamboos here. I've chopped all them down, burnt all that, and then I will dig all them out. And I started getting rid of a lot of fuel under the tree here, a lot of leaves, so I started burning them out the other day. But this area here looks pretty good, I would say. This is my pick of the bunch. because we are going to build a house here and a shed here in time. So I think this is very central. It's got the shelter between these two big trees, which is quite good. These trees will go eventually, but for the time being, I really like this position. Let me have a show you. So I wouldn't mind having it nestled in between these trees here, and then basically this is where we're going to face, so the birds have all this area to fly in, which is pretty good. I don't mind it. I think it is quite flat here, easy to drive in, and I just feel like it might be a better position than over there. But I'll just go up the top of this hill here and give you guys a better look. Okay, so we're up on top of this hill, and basically this hill is going to go anyway in the near future. Once I get the big machines out, I'll flatten this out so I can really flatten this whole area out. But from up here you can kind of get a really good feel for the space that we've got out here. We've got a lot of space. There's not going to be too many issues. We do have some transmission towers, but I would say they're about 300 or 400 meters that way, so it is quite a long space. It's not going to be an issue with the birds. You know, maybe some falcons or something might sit up there and watch them, but I'm sure we can get a few pills and sort out any issues that we do have. So we've got, there's the first position there, and then we've got our second position, which is in here. My preference is probably this, because it is out of the way of everything, and then when I do get the machines to knock all that out, it might not be too bad. But we are on 20 acres here. It's a very long block. It's about 170 meters wide and it's about 470 long, so it gives us 20 acres, so we've got plenty of room. But I want to keep everything up on this top section because this has been built up, so that there's no potential for flooding or anything like that. So once we have finished building a house here, then we will look at building a much bigger pigeon loft, which will probably be out in this section here somewhere, probably over in that corner there facing back this way, because obviously the house and everything will be here, and I want it nice and close so I can sit there and watch them come in. So eventually we will. I'm not going to do it now because I don't know where 100% the house is going to go. I don't know how I want everything laid out, and I don't want my pigeon loft too far away, so I'm not going to build my dream loft right now, just because that's going to cost a lot of money, and I need the money to finish building this house, or at least get it done, started, and then we can sell the other house and come over here. So I'm just trying to explain to you guys fully. That's what this block flock is about. It's about fully explaining everything that's going on so that you fully understand this whole process. There goes a flock of wild pigeons. That's pretty cool. Got some native ones here. So that's why I'm thinking, if I first off start, look at building something and that can handle that 60 to 80 pigeons. If I don't get there, if I only get 50 pigeons out here, that's fine. That's still enough for me to be very competitive. I can put them in a little loft down in between there, which will look really cool. I can actually sit up here for the meantime, let those birds out, watch them fly around. So I think that spot there is probably going to be the best, because the gate's there. There's our driveway. It's all pretty simple. And I'm debating. I haven't really locked down a style of loft I want yet. I want something that is very simple to build, and something is very simple to clean, so I'm not out here every single day scrubbing and scraping. I want something probably with grate floors, because here we've got so much space. It doesn't matter if the droppings fall down. If the droppings fall down through the grate, then I could just come out here with a rake on the sand and just scrape them out. I really want a simple and easy to clean loft, and I only want a certain amount of birds, because I want to make sure that I get on top of their health and their training and everything. That is my priority. I want to make sure that they've got the right food, the right training, and they're 100% healthy, because that's going to give me the best chance when it comes to racing. They don't have to be the best birds, but as long as they're super healthy, they're going to be very competitive. They're going to be a lot more competitive than some birds I've seen recently, because a lot of guys that I've noticed don't focus too much on that over here. So I'm going to really focus on the health, the feeding, all that kind of stuff, more than trying to spend a fortune on getting really good pigeons. I've got good pigeons. They are going to be very competitive, but I need to make sure that they are 100% healthy and fit, and then we do the right process of training except everything we need in feeding and keeping their health 110%. So yeah, that is basically where we're at. The other two positions that I've picked, if you think there's a better position here, drop the comments down below, let me know. I am open to options, so we'll just have to progress through with this. The next stage is pretty much just figuring out what I want in the terms of loft, and then we can start planning and building. I've got a few little sketches down pat, and I'm pretty sure the next video that we do have will be you know, drawing the loft and designing the loft and getting an idea of what we want. So that will be the progression. But the first thing is introducing you to the idea of what we're after, and then where we're going to put it, and then also back at home with the breeding side of things. But we will most likely, you know, later in the video we'll end up back at home, and we will yeah, go into that side of things. But this is where our flying loft will be. Out here we've got plenty of space. Like I said, the only other thing we're going to have issue wise is potentially someone coming over here and tampering with the pigeons, which I don't see it hasn't happened with the chickens yet. But what I might do is put like a cellular type of security camera here that I can look at on my phone all the time, and it'll send me updates as soon as any motion's picked up. So that's probably something that I will do. But I'm thinking nice big pigeon loft here facing out this way is going to be the best bet. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But don't forget, you can hit up there, hit the subscribe button to my other channel, which is Mania State, which basically goes into this whole thing. There's a whole bunch going on here. And hit that like button down there too. If you want to see more videos like this, you like this series, you like these long contents, hit the like button. It only takes not even 1 second to do it, so go for it. Alrighty, put that there. Alright, now we're back. It feels like there's a million more blue bars in here. I have so many blue bars. Should be 2 eggs down there now. Oh, there is. Look at that. 2 eggs and nice big fat baby. I've still got to take them off. We'll get there. Alright, let's put some food in there. Alright, so we're back home now. Just gave these birds a bit of a feed, and we're probably going to go over, just briefly go over what we've spoken about pretty much. It's basically that all we need to do is get these babies in here. We need to get them fully sorted and out of, like, fully weaned, so we can take this box out. Then what we'll do is we'll retrofit this somehow into a breeding loft so that we can house 5 to 8 pairs in here. At that same time, we're going to have to try and obtain, you know, how many pairs we've got here? Another, you know, 4 or 5 pairs maybe. Pigeons we'll bring into here. So we will bring back some of the older stock birds we had most likely, and we'll also bring in some different ones. So basically, and then once we start breeding, we know we're underway and all this is sorted, then we can head out to the block, and then we can start building that pigeon loft, because that shouldn't take too long generally. If I'm only going to build something that's pretty straightforward and it's just going to get us through the next few years, who knows, it might go longer. It'll still be the same quality as this loft, but obviously I'm going to put in a lot more tricks and stuff that I've been learning from, you know, some of the really good flyers. Yeah, so that's basically it, and then we'll have to basically go through and pick which birds we're going to keep here, because all the other ones are going to get moved out into the block so that we have more room here to breed. That's not your breeding box, get out of there. Do you want to breed? Do you want some babies? Anyway, I'm going to catch you guys later. This is just the first episode, so get ready for some more that probably will come tomorrow, next few days, but there is going to be plenty of them. So hit that like button down here, only takes a couple of seconds, and drop some comments down below. I'm going to catch you guys in the next episode of the Block Lock.